Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
This one is straight on tumbling. I'm beautiful water. Everything is not funny. They will play with fun. I play. My neighbor press one. He goes and fall apart.
ABC. Nigeria.
Nigeria indeed is falling from top to bottom. Nigeria. Good evening, everyone. My name is Maazi Ezeoke. And what's your name and where you are watching me from? It will be nice to know where you are joining me from because we have gone from top to bottom. Be that is many people are saying we need to come from bottom to top. But in trying to climb from bottom to top, it appears a Herculean task that is unbelievable and not, a task that we are unable to achieve. And because we are unable to achieve that task, it appears we are remaining and we've been held down here at the bottom. Now, every Friday we do have fun together, and in having fun, we basically do what we do best. We have fun, we take serious issues, and we try to infuse satire, infuse joke to discuss it. Because as it be so, Nigerian matter no go fit kill us. You know fit kill us. But let's me take a couple of minutes to acknowledge many of you that have joined me in this Friday Hangout. As I said before, if you haven't subscribed to this platform, by all means, please do. Click on the like button and share this stream, and also subscribe if you haven't done so. I have Bob Zido watching me from Algeria. Okay, so Bob Zido, thank you very much. We'll have people watching from Germany, from the United Kingdom. Thank you all for being part of this. Nigeria has gone from top to bottom. Indeed, top to bottom. Now, people, do you know that what the federal government is proposing to do as it stands today? The federal government of Nigeria is threatening teachers that if they do not come back to classes, they will be penalized. In other words, it's going to be if they, they're not going to be paid. And that's what the federal government of Nigeria is trying to do. Have a listen.
It's been 185 days since university lecturers last taught students in Nigeria's public tertiary schools, a development that has left students, parents, and other stakeholders frustrated. The lecturers under the umbrella body, ASU, accused the government of reneging on agreements made in the past and failing to fund the education sector adequately.
Other members of the minister's delegation.
This briefing by the Minister of Education comes barely days after the last meeting by both sides. According to the minister, while 5 of the 6 unions in the universities will in the next week call off their strike, there are no assurances here that ASU will be doing so.
I have 6 unions I'm dealing with. ASUP, that is the Association of Polytechnic. Then I have KOASU, College of Education Academic Staff. Then I have NASU, I have SANU, I have NAT, then I have ASU. I had given all the unions, all the 6 of them, the offer made by government. And I want to tell you, in principle, all of them accepted it. The only exception was ASU that gave me 2 other conditions. These 5 unions will call off the strike. But I cannot say the same for ASU because, and let me just tell you what they are asking is, they can accept this if the federal government will agree to pay the salary for the month they have not worked. And I told them the federal government will not. The federal government is not acting arbitrarily. Before, it was some magnanimity on its part. There is a law which says if there is no work, there will be no pay for it. I believe this will be a very strong element that will deter many from going on strike.
On the thorny issue of payment platform, the lecturers seem to have scored a point in bargaining for a new payment system.
Government has not approved users. What I know the last on this issue is a committee has worked and tested all the three platforms, IPPIS, UTAS, U3PS. And the preliminary result shows that these two new ones are better than IPs in so many respects. But the decision of government will depend on what ultimately is given in the report that is being read now.
The minister was asked what happens to the students who have lost an academic calendar during the strike.
I think we are all hit by this perhaps because they have to spend an extra year or extra 2 years. You could say they are worse hit, but it's a national problem. And I think if you had a chance or the capacity to measure the effect of that on the economy, you'll find that economy is also a victim. Parents are also victims. Some parents depend on their children passing out of school to take care of them. So I think it's a loss for the nation. Don't say it is the students alone. For the yes,
you don't know what to do with your head. You don't know what to do with your head.
Who do you
if you didn't dare,
will consider
you didn't
the
dare.
federal government? No, probably you should take.
So you have listened to the Minister of Education, and apparently Governor Nyesom Wike responded in an appropriate manner. And we probably leave it at that. Now, what am I telling you? This evening, in this hangout, we will be looking at why we came to the conclusion that this government appears to be one of the most corrupt ever. You know, the challenge here is that corruption now has not only sown agbada with this government, corruption has bought car. Corruption is now it's now an industry. Take a look at this, people, and tell me. Today, we woke up and we are reading the 6.7 billion fuel subsidy payment document we are missing. 6.7 billion people. The CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, made this disclosure yesterday during a hearing of the House of Representatives Special Ad Hoc Committee on the Petroleum Product Subsidy Regime in Nigeria from 2017 to 2021. Yesterday, I asked us who is the Minister of Petroleum. He must be a very incompetent idiot. But again, many of us don't know who the individual in question is. But whoever he is such a very incompetent person. How can we be talking about that the documents we used in paying petroleum subsidy that, cumulatively amounts to over 6.7 billion naira is nowhere to be found? Come on. Which kind talk will be this one, eh? While you're doing that, there is on the horizon what many may consider as good news, and myself included. I mean, because if you have any member of your family that is amongst those that were kidnapped in the Abuja-Kaduna train, you will be relieved. And here on a Facebook post by Punch NG, sorry, I think Punch is, let's see if it's going to show a normal one because I think it's showing a mobile version. So come up, Punch. Punchy, what happened to you? Okay. So Punch is showing us this news, right? That that's basically the photo. The terrorists who attacked the Abuja-Kaduna train on 28th of March have released 4 more hostages, including an 85-year-old woman. Imagine 85-year-old woman is being held under captivity since then. Yeah. And also Tuko Mamu, the publisher of Kaduna-based Desert Herald, a media consultant to Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi. These are fellow citizens, their crime. Look at them here. And the families, the families are kind of happy. Look at them here. The Herald, the truth, and the old woman in question, 85-year-old. Only God knows what she has undergone, the level of trauma that she has undergone in the hands of the Boko Haramite, in the hands of those that the government ought to be dealing with, but it appears that the government appears incompetent in dealing with them. Every day you wake up, all you hear is Nigeria. One thing or the other is basically happening. And again, some people will say that, this cannot be made up. You also hear from the other quarters as well, where those that are in authority will tell you that it is likely that even someone who is already known Boko Haram or Boko Haramist can actually one day become your president.
An ex-Boko Haram stands having laid his arms and comes back, turns his way away from his negativity. He stands to be a president of this country. He stands to aspire to any position in this country.
So you have heard that. Even ex-Boko Haram has a chance of becoming your president. I think that will be made. A military general is telling you that, and you think that's still a joke. That is no joke. If you don't get it, forget about it.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
So, like I said, if you don't get it, forget about it. There is no way you can be helped in this one. But for those who are still thinking of a Miloko, elder statesman in the person of General Olusegun Matthew Remo Obasanjo. He was talking to Yorubas the other day, and and many are saying that was after Bola Tinubu visited him, and he made allusion to the Emilokon. So you can see these are the Arewa boys who are mimicking the Jagabandit, as Maigun would always call him. They are mimicking the Jagabandit, and we will still play you the video of Obasanjo and as to what he said. But there is something that is very clear here, people. Irrespective of how you dice anything happening, and one thing is very, very clear, that the Nigerian system is wonky. The Nigerian system, makes. I would say that the Nigerian system makes a mess of the individuals that are in it. And rather than actions to be taken for things to be resolved, all we keep hearing from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is that he's assuring us that he is going to.
I assure you that our government.
But I assure you.
I assure you. I want to assure you. I assure you.
So he can always assure us. But people like, but you know, when maybe people were believing him before, but many of you are saying that believing him, if you believe his assurance, you can also believe.
I later still marry because of my lack of knowledge to wrong person. But you know what? When that man married to me, he was once my boyfriend before I became born again. Oh. When we now marry, the day we met, this man stood up, say, "For me, what is happening now? Are you not formally my girlfriend? Why am I sleeping like with you and you become virgin again? Why?" It took this man more than 30 minutes before he can penetrate.
You see? So I believe many of you will believe Mommy G.O. Yeah? You believe Mommy G.O., right? Because Mommy G.O. is actually right. The same way the assurances that has been given unto you, the same way we also believe the assurances. Because we've been assured and assured and assured and assured. Every day we've been assured. So that's why we have President Olusegun Obasanjo. This time around, he's not assuring us. He's only telling us that there is a new lexicon. Obasanjo is only telling us there is a new lexicon in the Yoruba dictionary. Listen to him.
New vocabulary in Yoruba political dictionary. Emilokan. Eléyìí. Olè. Ona rẹ́rìn. Mo ní mi ò wá mọ̀ bí new vocabularies yìí o, bí wọ́n dáa ni o, bí wọ́n ò dáa ni o.
So, you know, on a day like this, if you ask my good brother, you know, Njenje, you know, that small stout or Malta Guinness in size that runs like a demon, you know, if you ask him now, he will tell you, well, that whatever Obasanjo said, he said it because of his radicalness.
I am not a man. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Everything that you saw me behave and my radicalness is a possession of the Holy Ghost.
See, and again, you know that when the Holy Ghost possesses you, if the Holy Ghost possesses you, he makes you speak truth. You know, he makes you speak truth. Just like the same way when Holy Ghost possessed Buhari, and Buhari spoke truth. When he was asking, you know, is everything...
Are our children safe when they go to school? Are our parents safe when we leave them at home? Is the Naira in your bank account of greater value today than it was 4 years ago?
So, you know, it can only take someone who is in the possession of Holy Ghost, and a person who is very radical. You know, if you're very radical and then something like that will happen to you. And not to say that if you have some certain powers, you know, if you have some and you control certain powers, they are powers. They can be called liquid methods. Some powers can be called Ganduje, Gandusa. And if you have such powers, you can also speak in such manner.
I have so many power. Le Baduse play Lamante. I have Abido Sheka. I have never touched those ones. I have Dabus Kabach. Yes. I have Ganduka Gandusa. Mbeg Iwalonios.
So if you don't want to enter into the pot of soup, because you know, you won't even turn into onions. You will turn into yabas. You know, there is a difference between onions and yabas. If you doubt it, go and ask your mom. She will tell you. But on a serious note, you now come again, you see that also that Nigerian youth are also waking up, telling you that in 2023, you must vote right. And saying that those who have kept them, you know, very, very sharp story and straight to the point, that in 2023, those that have kept them at home will never see their vote. And that's very simple.
General election when the principle in no resumption, no election. Vote of no confidence to the government of APC. No be lie. All Nigerian students should vote for opposition parties. That is it.
So you see, they are telling you there that because you have kept them at home, the students are so angry, you have kept them at home for so long, that they are not going to be voting those who barely kept them at home. Again, to show you that the Nigerian economy is nosedived. Not only that the oil, the little we have is being, stolen. It's also a clear case to show that things have gone really from top to bottom. You can see this next video, this fish cutting, and you see why I said that. Some people are saying this is called fish ship. How can it? How can someone cut fish this way in Nigeria? It's because the economy So you can now imagine, when I saw the video, one thing that came to mind, I was thinking, maybe this is for the in the school children. I don't know, but that's the only thing, because you can see that the man nearly chopped off his hand because it is too tiny. Again, be that as it may, whatever happened, people, we must also know that in 2023, that all the things that are being said now, and that people shouldn't, rather than ask for forgiveness that it was done in Kenya, that people should actually run a clean campaign. Yes, we know that the APC is, as it stands today, it's a collection of fraudulent people, starting from their Minister of Petroleum, who is so incompetent that he does not understand and does not know what is happening within his jurisdiction, the jurisdiction that he controls. Then these things will now begin to make you to wonder who is actually in charge. But here is something to emulate from an African country. They've run an election, someone lost, someone won, but at least there was this truth and reconciliation where openly someone called and said, I'm sorry, can you forgive me because of...
I want to invite my brother William to come to the stage. Karibu. Don't worry, we're not singing today, you don't have to worry about that. And as I do, I want to invite also my brother Raila and Kalonzo. We have campaigned against one another. We have said nasty things about each other. We have hurt one another. On my behalf, Ndugu, I ask for your forgiveness. And I tender my apology.
Mr. President, I thought you were going to do this on all our behalf. So, as my brother President Uhuru has said, and maybe I'm the one who is most accused, I want.
So you can see that there is, a lot for us to learn, because this is a country where the winner takes it all, and every other person, basically, you can go to hell. But if not for anything, the short clip we just watched showed us a sign of a new thing and a sign of something that could be done differently. And people, I want to make these hangout very, very brief. We may be concluding with, many of you may have seen the video update on the second Niger bridge. There is an aerial video taken by Julius Berger, and Julius Berger published this video. Now, that content is from Julius Berger, and I want to show us that here and explain one or two things. So you can see the second Niger bridge. Now, I'll say the following. While I do appreciate that that bridge eventually has come on stream, the following points must be noted. That bridge, there will be toll, and there is toll on that bridge. We can't say that enough. You have to pay to use that bridge. If you don't want to use that bridge, you can use the old one, which is free of charge. I mean, which is the normal practice everywhere. Now, many things, while I was at the bridge a couple of months back, I noticed and I noted to what I told us, that bridge, in my view, I'm not an engineer, or rather, I'm not a structural engineer, neither am I an engineer by training or by profession. But with my layman's view, I looked at that bridge and I thought to myself, I think that bridge is low. Not that there is going to be much activity as in terms of maritime activities around that area, because for those, or to with those, regarding those that one have spoken to, regarding what is the possibility of eventually having a, call it a wharf, call it container bay, call it whatever you want to, it appears that that is not entirely visible because of the shallowness of the River Niger in that area. And it also appears if the things Goodluck Jonathan said while he was president, if that is anything to go by, I recall then one of his arguments, or rather his argument then was when Yaradua did give the contract for that was the right word, for the dredging of that River Niger. One of the things that came out there was if you do that, it's going to cause more ecological havoc and damage to the environment as opposed to dredging it deeper. Now, that's where we are. But the good thing is, and the good news here is that that bridge will be commissioned anytime soon. Is the structure, as many of you who have sent me private messages are saying, is the structure strong? I don't know. But I think it's, that bridge is built by Julius Berger, and Julius Berger is not a small company. So I believe everything is fine. However, the only concern remains that the bridge is low, that if you ever consider to eventually import container through that, it will be near impossibility. Then if you ask me, I think if indeed and enough a truth that in the future you may want to do that, it's actually not an issue, because the so-called wharf that is towards the bridgehead of Bosisi, it's nothing but an obsolete, or rather obsolete cranes that are left there. The best thing probably should be actually to move down towards Odebe Obaru, Atani, Ochuche, to build something befitting and fit for purpose. Because that little thing beside the old Niger Bridge is, in my view, in the 21st century, not fit for purpose. Maybe in 1983, maybe it would have meant anything, but now, in modern time, I think that is not fit for purpose. So, with that in mind, it means absolutely nothing to me, and I wouldn't bother myself as to the height or the length, because if that would enforce that something right will be done, but in a different location, then so be it. Everyone, I take some of your comment and we'll call it a day. Henry Obiajuru says, good evening, Maazi Ezeoke. Henry Obiajuru is watching from Ireland. Okay, Naram says, good evening, Maazi Ezeoke. You're doing a great job. Thank you, the obedient family. Thank you, everyone. And on that note, people, because Maazi Ezeoke is, it's Friday and it's summer, always having activities. It's just that I want to come and keep my promise with every one of us on this platform. And if you're watching me and you haven't subscribed, I say, what are you waiting for? It is free. You do not need to pay. Why don't you quickly click the subscribe button before we call it a day, people? Click the subscribe button. We are begging you, click the subscribe button. Everyone, click the subscribe button. Click. We're no longer even saying, why is everyone no longer paying tithes? That is no longer a conversation, but we are now only begging you to even, do the right thing that you ought to do and click the subscribe button. Because you know why? Those days you haven't subscribed are called the past. they are in the particles. But if you subscribe now, you will be in the present. So join me in the present and not in the past.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go me. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day. Say tickle. Say tickle.
You see? So yesterday that you didn't subscribe, you are a past. This morning that you didn't subscribe, you are a party. If you are watching and you are not subscribing, don't let us bring you into the pathetical. Because if you bring you into the pathetical, you become an article. And when you become an article, you become a porumbian.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporumbium.
You see, do you want me to exacerbate the oporumbium? Because if we exacerbate the oporumbium, it's not going to be good for you. So you better do it before I go violent on you now. On that note, I say thank you very much for being part of this. I am Maazi Ezeoke, and good night. Bye-bye.
ABC Nigeria! Nigeria! From top to bottom! Top to bottom! Top to bottom! Top to bottom!
It's not like this, don't stumble. Everything is not funny. You're a friend.